Prince Edward, Duke of Kent, is a member of the British royal family. Queen Elizabeth II and Edward were first cousins through their fathers, King George VI, and Prince George, Duke of Kent. Edward's mother Princess Marina of Greece and Denmark was also a first cousin of the Queen's husband Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, making him both a second cousin and first cousin once removed to King Charles III. Prince Edward has held the title of Duke of Kent for more than 80 years, since the age of 6, after the death of his father in a plane crash in 1942. Edward carried out engagements on behalf of Elizabeth II and is involved with over 140 charitable organizations. He was president of the All England Lawn Tennis and Croquet Club, presenting the trophies to the Wimbledon champion and runner-up, and served as the United Kingdom's Special Representative for International Trade and Investment, retiring in 2001. He is president of the Scout Association, the Royal United Services Institute, and the Royal Institution of Great Britain, and since 1967 Grand Master of the United Grand Lodge of England. Much of his charity work revolves around war remembrance, technology, and the growth of British industry. He is also the last surviving descendant of George V, born during his lifetime. Early life. Prince Michael was born on July 4, 1942, at Coppens, Iver, Buckinghamshire. He was the third child of Prince George, Duke of Kent, who was a son of King George V and Queen Mary and a younger brother of King George VI. At the time of his birth, Michael was seventh in the line of succession to the British throne. His mother was Princess Marina, a daughter of Prince Nicholas of Greece and Denmark and Grand Duchess Elena Vladimirovna of Russia. At his baptism on August 4, 1942 in the private chapel of Windsor Castle, his godparents were his paternal uncle the King, Queen Wilhelmina of the Netherlands, the King Haakon VII of Norway, U.S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt, Frederica of Hanover, hereditary princess of Greece, the wife of Paul of Greece, his first cousin once removed, the Duke of Gloucester, the Dowager Marchioness of Milford Haven, and Lady Patricia Ramsay. Because of the war, newspaper reports did not identify the location of the baptism and said instead that it took place at a private chapel in the country. 7 weeks after Michael's birth, his father was killed in a plane crash near Dunbeth, Caithness, Scotland, on August 25, 1942. At the age of 5, Prince Michael was a page boy at the wedding of his cousins Princess Elizabeth and Lieutenant Philip Mountbatten. Education and military service. He was educated at Sunningdale School and Eton College and is fluent in French as well as having a working knowledge of German and Italian. He was the first member of the royal family to learn Russian, of which he is a qualified interpreter. Michael entered the Mons Officer Cadet School, in January 1961, from where he was commissioned into the 11th Hussars. He later served in the Royal Hussars after the amalgamation between the 11th Hussars and the 10th Royal Hussars in 1969. He saw service in Germany, Hong Kong, and Cyprus, where his squadron formed part of a United Nations peacekeeping force in 1971. Subsequent tours of duty, during a military career that spanned 20 years, included a number of appointments on the Defense Intelligence Staff. He retired from the Army with the rank of Major in 1981. In 1994, Michael was made Honorary Commodore of the Royal Naval Reserve, and in 2002, he was made Honorary Air Commodore of RAF Benson. From 2009 to 2012, he was Regimental Colonel of the Honourable Artillery Company and on January 31, 2012 became its Royal Honorary Colonel. He is also Colonel-in-Chief of the Essex and Kent Scottish Regiment in Canada. Activities and patronages. As the third child of George V's fourth son, it was not expected that Prince Michael, as the only second son in the extended royal family, would undertake many engagements on behalf of the royal family. He has performed official duties in the Commonwealth realms other than the United Kingdom and has represented the Queen abroad. He has, however, never received a parliamentary annuity or an allowance from the British Privy Purse, unlike both his elder brother, Prince Edward, Duke of Kent, and his sister, Princess Alexandra, who both carry out official royal duties. The prince was given the use of a grace and favour apartment at Kensington Palace upon his marriage in 1978. Michael represented the Queen at state funerals in India, Cyprus, and Swaziland and, with his wife, Princess Michael of Kent, represented the Queen at the independence celebrations in Belize, and at the coronation of King Mswati III of Swaziland. Michael supports a large number of charities and organizations. Some of his patronages and presidencies include the Kennel Club, Children's Burns Trust, Maritime Volunteer Service, the Association of Dunkirk Little Ships, Life Saving Society, Royal Automobile Club, National Eye Research Center, Motor Sports Association, Brooklands Museum Trust, the Light Aircraft Association, and the London School of Business and Finance. He announced his retirement from public life in June 2022 as he approached his 80th birthday. Marriage. On June 30, 1978, Michael married, at a civil ceremony, at the Rathaus, Vienna, Austria, the German noblewoman Baroness Marie Christine von Reibnitz. After receiving Pope John Paul II's permission, the couple later received a blessing of their marriage in a Catholic ceremony on June 29, 1983 at Archbishop's House, London. At the time of the marriage, Marie Christine von Reibnitz was both a Roman Catholic and a divorcee. She had been married to the banker Thomas Trowbridge. They separated in 1973, divorced in 1977, and had their marriage annulled by the Catholic Church a year later, 2 months before her marriage to Michael. Under the terms of the Act of Settlement 1701, Michael forfeited his place in the line of succession to the throne through his marriage to a Catholic. He was reinstated to the line of succession on March 26, 2015 with the coming into force of the Succession to the Crown Act 2013, and is 51st in line to the throne as of September 2022. Michael and Marie Christine have 2 children, both brought up as members of the Church of England and therefore in the line of succession to the throne since birth. Lord Frederick Windsor, born April 6, 1979 at St Mary's Hospital, London, married, September 12, 2009, Sophie Winkleman. Educated at Eton College and Magdalen College, Oxford. They have 2 daughters, Maud and Isabella. Lady Gabriella Kingston, born April 23, 1981 at St Mary's Hospital, London, married, May 18, 2019, Thomas Kingston. Educated at Down House, Brown University in the US, and Linacre College, Oxford. Personal interests. Commercial. Prince Michael manages his own consultancy business, and undertakes business throughout the world. He is also a qualified interpreter of Russian. Masonic. Prince Michael is an active Freemason. He is the Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of Mark Master Masons, and Provincial Grand Master of the Provincial Grand Lodge of Middlesex. Russia. Prince Michael speaks fluent Russian and has a strong interest in Russia, where he is a well-known figure. Tsar Nicholas II was a first cousin of 3 of his grandparents, George V, Prince Nicholas of Greece and Denmark, and Grand Duchess Elena Vladimirovna of Russia. When the bodies of the Tsar and some of his family were recovered in 1991, the remains were later identified by DNA using, among others, a sample from Michael for recognition. He attended the 1998 burial of the Tsar and his family in St. Petersburg. He is an honorary member of the Romanov Family Association. He is also the second cousin of Maria Vladimirovna, Grand Duchess of Russia, who is a claimant to the headship of the imperial family of Russia. They share the same great-grandfather, Grand Duke Vladimir Alexandrovich. Michael is the patron of organizations which have close ties with Russia, including the Russo-British Chamber of Commerce and the St. Gregory's Foundation. In his capacity as patron of Children's Fire and Burns Trust, Prince Michael has led fundraising rallies in 1999 and 2003 in Russia to raise money for the charity. He also led another rally in 2005 and raised money for the Royal Marsden Hospital and Britain's Charities Aid Foundation Russia. On March 4, 2022, Michael returned the Order of Friendship in the aftermath of the 2022 Russian invasion of Ukraine. Sport. Prince Michael was a part of the Royal Military Academy Sandhurst rowing crew that won the Maiden Fours at Bedford in 1961. Prince Michael competed for Great Britain in the 1971 FIBT World Bobsleigh Championships but crashed and failed to finish the event. He was official non-travelling reserve for the 1972 Winter Olympics. He took part in the 1970 London to Mexico World Cup rally in an Austin Maxi, but he and his crew failed to finish the event. Media scrutiny. In 2002, both Michael and his wife were the subject of criticism over the rent paid on their accommodation at Kensington Palace following scrutiny by the House of Commons Public Accounts Committee on the cost of royal palaces and whether they were value for money. The committee had called on the Queen to evict its residents and put the apartments on a more commercial footing. When it was claimed that the couple paid a rent of only £69 per week for the use of their apartments at Kensington Palace, Buckingham Palace announced that the Queen is paying the rent for Prince and Princess Michael of Kent's apartment at a commercial rate of £120,000 annually, from her own private funds. This rent payment by the Queen is in recognition of the royal engagements and work for various charities which Prince and Princess Michael of Kent have undertaken at their own expense, and without any public funding. Prince Michael has been scrutinized for financial assistance given to him by exiled Russian oligarch Boris Berezovsky through offshore companies, with a reported total of £320,000 in payments over the period 2002-2008. In an interview with the Sunday Times, Berezovsky stated, "There is nothing underhand or improper about the financial assistance I have given Prince Michael. It is a matter between friends." In May 2021 reports were published stating that Michael was selling access to Vladimir Putin's political representatives. Footage from a Zoom call was released of Michael, alongside Simon Isaacs, 4th Marquess of Reading, interacting with undercover reporters posing as business executives seeking to make contacts with the Kremlin. In the video, he assured the men that his close ties with the country would be of benefit, and that he could introduce them to high-ranking figures within the Russian government in exchange for money. The call took place the day after the European Union imposed sanctions on the Kremlin. Michael was being offered £143,000 for a proposal and £36,000 a month by the faux businessmen, which he expressed satisfaction with. The Marquis claimed that Michael was the Queen's unofficial ambassador to Russia and had direct access to Putin. He later stated that he had overpromised, while the prince said that he had not had contact with Putin since 2003. In a 2019 interview, Michael stated that he visited Russia twice a year as part of his work for the Russo-British Chamber of Commerce. Marina Litvinenko denounced the prince's actions, saying that it demonstrated that he didn't care about human rights, democracy, about the people who are dying in Russia or what he did to your own citizens on UK soil. Conservative MP Bob Seeley released a statement saying, in part, "We have sanctions against President Putin's regime for good reason. I'd love to know what Prince Michael thinks he is doing by making the UK's values and standards look optional." Titles, styles, honors, and arms. Titles. As a child of a younger son of a British sovereign, he is styled as a British prince with the prefix His Royal Highness and a territorial designation deriving from his father's dukedom, His Royal Highness Prince Michael of Kent. Unofficial honors. 1953, Queen Elizabeth II Coronation Medal. 1977, Queen Elizabeth II Silver Jubilee Medal. January 18, 2001, Knight of Justice of the Most Venerable Order of St. John. 2002, Queen Elizabeth II Golden Jubilee Medal. June 2, 2003, Knight Grand Cross of the Royal Victorian Order. July 4, 1992, Knight Commander of the Royal Victorian Order. 2012, Queen Elizabeth II Diamond Jubilee Medal. October 19, 2015, Canadian Forces Decoration. 2022, Queen Elizabeth II Platinum Jubilee Medal. Foreign honorary military appointments. Fellowships. Grand Master of the Order of Marked Master Masons of England. Chartered Institution of Highways and Transportation. Chartered Institute of Linguists. Royal Aeronautical Society. Society of Genealogists. Institute of Road Safety Officers. Institute of the Motor Industry. Honorary academic degrees and awards. Degrees and appointments. Awards. Arms. Issue. Ancestry.